आज का हमारा लीड कोड का POTD है अप्लाई ऑपरेशंस टू एन एरे लीड कोड नंबर 2460. Okay, so let's try to solve it as the question states that it's an easy one. So let's see what the question asks to us. Okay, so we are given a zero index array nums of size n consisting of non-negative integers. Okay, there are numbers in an array, n numbers in an array which are non-negative. Okay, so let's see what we need to do. We need to apply n minus 1 operations to this array where ith operation 0 indexed, you will apply the following on the ith element of num. Okay, so let's see what are the operations which we need to apply. Okay, so this is the main part. Okay, so at any ith position, if it's equal to the nums of I plus 1, so if two adjacent elements, like suppose we have 1 and then suppose like whereas, okay, so we will do it later. I am just explaining what the problem states, then I will be providing the solution for it. Okay, so what we need to do, if nums of I equal to nums of I plus 1, then multiply the nums of I by 2 and set the nums of I plus 1 to 0. Okay, so if we encounter a number and the adjacent or the next element is equal to that number, we will be multiplying 2 to that number and the next element will be set to 0. Okay, so that's clear. After performing all the operations, shift all the zeros to the end of the array. So we need to do two things. First, we need to perform this, then we need to perform this. Okay, here is an example. Like if we have 1 2 2 1 0 1 1 0, so at first we come here, 1 is not equal to 2. Okay, so what we do, we move to the next index. Here 2 and the adjacent of it, these two are equal. So what will happen, that it will be converted to this. Okay, so actually I have the same example in which I have mentioned it clearly how to do it. Let's see what it is. Okay, so here we can clearly see that we are at the 0th index and 1 and the adjacent element to it or the next element to it is not equal to 1. So what we do the I plus plus and we come here. So at the first index we can see that here is 2 and the next element is also 2. So these two are same. So after performing the operation, what happens, we will multiply this 2 with the 2 and set this 2 as 1 as 0. So it becomes 4 comma 0, right? Okay, so in the next operation, let's see. Okay, so we come to the index 2. It's now set to 0, so the next element is 1. So we don't have to do anything, right? Because these two aren't equal. Okay, so let's move to the next index, which is index number 3. Okay, so we come to 3 and we see that the next element is equal to the current element, which is 1, and this one. These two are equal. So now we what have to do, that we need to multiply this with 2 and set this one to 0. So after performing this operation, what happened? 1 4 0, this one is converted to 2 into 1, which is 2, and this one is set to 0. Okay, so now we come to index number 4. At index number 4 we have 0 and the next element is also 0. So 0 is equal to 0. Since 2 into 0 is equal to 0, so no update will be required. After performing all these operations, array will look something like this, as we have also seen in our problem. Okay, so why we didn't go to I equal to 5? Because it was mentioned earlier that we only need to go to n minus 1. See, we need to apply operations, apply n minus 1 operations. So we didn't go, because if we go and do the and check the next element, it will be out of bound. To prevent it, we went only to n minus 1. Okay, so now we have this. Now, how do we move zeros to the end? Okay, so there can be multiple approaches to it. Like we can take an auxiliary space and put only non-zero number to it, and then we can also calculate the number of zeros and put the zeros at the end. Okay, so that will be like requiring, well, first we traverse, so it will take us uh, n space will also be required. It will be suppose like 2n, because okay, so it will require a space. So how can we do it in the most optimal way and an easy way? We can use two pointer. Okay, so what will happen, that first we need to find the occurrence of 0. After we find it, we need to replace it with occurrence of non-zero. For this example, we find the occurrence of 0, and we find the element which is after 0 and it's non-zero, which is 0 here and 2, and we swap them. After swapping, 2 will come at the 0th position, 0th element position, which was 2, and 0 will go to the non-zero non-zero position. Okay, so this will be an approach, and we can see the code below. Okay, so let's come to the code. This is the set 0, which we will be coming in the later part. First, let's see the first part in which we were applying the operations. Okay, I'm using the language here C++. Okay, so first we calculate the size of the n. Then what we are doing, we are going to n minus 1. Then we are checking if nums of I equal to nums of I plus 1. We do what? We do nums of I into twice of the nums of I, and we are setting nums of I plus 1 equal to 0. Right? After this, what will happen? After this, we will get the array something like this one. Yeah, like this one. This will be our this will be an array. Something, it will look something like this. Now we what to do? Now what we need to do is that we need to find the position, we need to find the position of the element which is 0. Okay, so we have created a function set 0, which will update I to the position, ith position, which is 0. Now coming to the function set 0, we have passed the I by reference, and we have passed the nums. So we have calculated the size here, and what we did, we moved I till it's less than n, and if nums of I equal to 0, we will break it, otherwise we will update that. So I will pointing at the position where the zeroth element is, where the zero element is. Okay, so now we will be doing swapping here in this while. J will be ahead of I, so we do J is equal to I plus 1. Now if J is not equal to 0, see what we are doing. If I is less than n, because I should be less than n, because otherwise it will throw what? Array out of bound or vector out of bound. We swap the position. Then we what need to do? We need to set the I pointer again to the zeroth element. Zeroth element here I mean the element which is 0. Okay, so we set the we set I again after swapping, and we move the j. In this way we will be swapping the we will be using the technique of two pointer and swapping the elements. 0 the element which is 0 and the element which is non-zero, so at the end we will get the results. This is a good test case. Okay, so you can do the dry run of it and you will get the same answer. Here we have done the same thing. As you can see that we have passed all the as we have passed all the test cases here, and the run time is the best, I would say. It speeds 100%. Complexity, I would say it's n. We didn't require any extra space also. Okay, so here's a solution, and that's all for it. If you think that I have to do something better, you can suggest it in comments, as it's my first video. I hope that I did well. Okay, so have a good day ahead.